Hi, my name is Charli D'Amelio and I am a content creator / entrepreneur.
It's so nice to meet you, Charli.
You as well.
Thank you. So you're 18 years old.
Yes.
And you're also the most popular girl in the world.
Oh, goodness.
You've got 145 million TikTok followers, and you're also the highest paid TikToker in the world, making $17.5 million a year. How do you feel about that?
It's definitely something that I never expected to happen. Does not feel very real, but I'm very happy with what I do and I love what I do, and I'm glad that this was the path that I have taken because I have a lot of fun with this.
And you also have serious business. I mean, you've got so much going on the business front. Can you give me an overview of your businesses?
Yeah. Originally, my first step into the business world for myself was my sister and I have a clothing brand called Social Tourist with Hollister. I have a fragrance out with my own brand, and that was something that I got to do pretty much entirely on my own. That was incredible. I do a lot of work with my family, which is so great for learning and just growing together as a family. And we've been able to do and work with a lot of really amazing brands and companies that I value quite a lot. So overall, it's definitely been a lot on the business side of content creating, but it's been an inspiring and a journey that I've gotten to learn a lot about.
Mm-hmm. And this is the first time that you really sat down with a business publication. What is the number one thing that people should know about your business?
I think for me, I've definitely gotten to a point in my own career where I value a lot more of what I truly believe in now, and I talk about things that I trust and I truly love. And I'm very lucky to have the opportunity to work with brands that I genuinely use and create brands that I actually enjoy having around me. And I think that that can be a little bit hard in the beginning when you maybe don't have the means to say no, but being in the position that I am right now, it's really awesome to be able to create things that I truly love.
So how did you get to where you are? I mean, you were originally from Connecticut. You're still from Connecticut. Tell us how you became, girl who dances in Connecticut to the queen of TikTok.
For me, I started off competition dancing when I was 5. And from there, I've tried a lot of different things, and I'm still trying a lot of different things, but I found that business has been something that's always been very fun to me, and I've really enjoyed being a part of those aspects with companies that I worked with, and now being able to create my own brands and bringing all of that knowledge along with me. It's been a lot of teaching moments from people that are professionals in their field, and I really get to cherish those moments and be able to take all of their words to wherever I choose to go next. And it's been quite a crazy journey, but one that I wouldn't trade for anything.
So we want to take it back to the beginning, and we found your first TikTok that you ever made, which is this. It's been quite a journey. Tell us about how you went from that to your first business deal. What was it?
So originally I was just making TikTok videos in my school with my friends. It was mostly on their accounts before I got my own. And eventually I decided it was time to open my own account and begin making videos just for fun in the bathroom at school. People start to reach out and offer kind of deals in the way that they were. I think my first deal was a sound promotion, just to use a sound and do a dance. And I got $75 for that. I still never actually got that money into my account because...
Okay, well, follow-up is that you were owed some money.
Oh, no. I wasn't old enough to have a PayPal account, and it got deleted, so I never got that money. But that was...
How old were you then?
I believe I was 15. I
Okay.
just turned 15. You have to be 18.
Well, you've come a long way from $75 for a post. When did you know this was going to be a big deal? Like, maybe talk about one of the first six-figure deals that you had.
I think for me, it was when I started to see my face in places other than just social media apps. My sister and I worked with Morphe, and I got to see my face in Ulta beauty stores, and that was almost unreal to see that happen. And each time I got to meet someone that I was able to look up to and I now get to learn from was a time where I kind of thought, well, this can be something, but there's definitely always that little piece in the back of my mind that I can't control the algorithm. You never know what's going to happen. So kind of just staying in the moment and understanding that you can just keep posting without knowing how it's going to do or without wondering how it's going to do, and being able to do the behind the scenes stuff, like working with companies like Dunkin' and Step Mobile, Light Tricks, all of those types of brands and companies that I've really gotten to have those conversations with, and they value my opinion, and that definitely is a little pat on the shoulder that this is going to work out.
Yeah, so you mentioned Light Tricks, and I'm curious about that. I know that that's a company that you have equity in, along with other companies like Smart Dog Collar, Halo, teen banking company Step, and another company, Fit On. Talk about promoting these companies in your content and how you do that, and kind of like how those deals where you're taking equity are structured.
Yeah, so for a company like Step Mobile, that is so perfect because when I talk about the first time getting paid for something and not being able to receive that money, a company like Step kind of solves that problem for you and helps you build credit. And I feel like there's something so special in that I wanted to be a part of, because having this voice that, you know, younger kids listen to, I would love to be able to teach them a little bit about financial security and how to make intelligent money steps and being able to save and how to manage your money was something that was important to me. And with that, they also take what I have to say to be able to help them and what I kind of am looking for that. And we are able to bounce ideas off of each other and really understand both sides, the teenagers and the people that are professionals at making something work that I might not know how to do. And it's just a very collaborative effort where everyone gets their opinions in, and overall we're able to find what's going to work best for everyone.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned, you know, kids and teens. Talk about TikTok users and your relationship with your fan base.
Yeah, I myself definitely have a pretty close relationship with a lot of my fans. There's many of them that I see their name, I know who they are. I see their face,
Really?
I know who they are.
Wow.
That's probably one of my favorite things ever. There's a lot of people that have been with me since the beginning and are still there now, and that's something that I really value a lot. I think with each social media platform, it's a little bit of a different fan base just regarding age group and what type of content they like. It's been really awesome to get to meet these people and get to read their letters or hear their words or how I might have helped them in some way. And that's definitely very refreshing for me and very nice to hear. But I've definitely gotten to talk to a lot of the people that are my fans, and that's always a very fun interaction.
Yeah, and you know, that sounds extremely positive. You've also talked a lot about the hate you've gotten. on your podcast, on your show. Have you developed any effective coping mechanisms to deal with the hate?
Yeah, I think for me, it took a lot of figuring out how to kind of not control my emotions, but feel my emotions and not let those negative emotions drag out over long periods of time. You can read something one day and you'll be fine, read something another day and it makes you upset, but you have to feel that and then move on. And you can't sit in that forever, because then you're just never gonna have a positive time when you're on the internet, you know? But it definitely took talking to a professional and really helping myself, also separating a little bit of my personal life from what I put out on the internet, because they can say something about a video I posted, but I also lived a full 24 hours that day and there was so much else going on that not everyone gets to see, and being okay with having that boundary up.
Mm-hmm. I think whether you're a TikTok star or a normal person, boundaries are really important.
Absolutely.
And so on your podcast, you talk about how and on your show, you talk about how you de-stress by crying, the frequent panic attacks you have. Has that, knowing that everything you do is going to be dissected by the public, has it changed your strategy for posting?
As someone that's dealt with anxiety and things like that from a very young age, that was always a part of my life, and it took more than just getting on social media to start working on myself. I've been working on it for a very long time, but it's also a part of growing up and kind of having a confidence in yourself. But as far as my relationship with social media, I think I just don't post as much, but I feel like I post kind of some of the same stuff, but it's also a little bit difficult to figure out what is being on social media and what is growing up.
Yeah.
So it's hard to differentiate.
How do you differentiate that?
I don't know. I feel like I just have to be very in the moment, and I try not to focus on those things. I feel like staying close with the people who knew me before is very important to me, and I think that helps me keep my head on straight, as well as having my family and new friends that will be honest.
Right. And another thing on that is, the blurred line between growing up and posting on social. Another part of that is like the blurred line between your business and just content that you're posting, because you're posting. Can you talk a little bit about the relationship between promoting your business, your professional things, and then also promoting your personal things?
Yeah, I think for me, it's doing what feels right. I went to a friend's birthday party the other day and I was in a costume, but I was like, this color.
What was the costume?
It was a 1920s birthday party, but
okay.
I was like, this costume would look good with the Born Dreamer bottle. So I was like, hey, can you take some pictures of me with the Born Dreamer bottle? And it was just, I felt like that was right. So I did it and then I posted it, and that promoted my fragrance. But I also just really liked that photo and it was cute and aesthetic. And it's really doing whatever feels right in the moment and not overthinking everything, because that's when it can feel overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. And these days, that is very much the American dream. I mean, people call you America's sweetheart, and that's because you've basically built a business empire by doing things like that, being yourself, and then creating brands that are an extension of you. What do you think about the fact that you and your family are the new American dream, which is being a TikTok star?
I think my family in particular, we have a very close relationship. We always have, and only through this it's grown stronger. And I feel like we all help each other with everything, and I feel like that's something that's super important to us, but it's also really not overthinking things. I feel like we don't focus too much about our own public perceptions and instead focus on enjoying the moment and enjoying the people that are in our lives and the people that help us be who we are as people. But I think it's definitely been a journey, but one of the reasons that personally I believe people connect with us is the fact that we have this very tight-knit bond that just you can't put us against each other. And I feel like having that very strong family unit definitely helped all of this.
So you recently turned 18.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank
a little
you.
belated. But now that you've been a professional TikToker for what? 2 years?
Started this when I was 15, so I guess, oh my gosh. Wow. Feels like yesterday, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You know, it's been a minute. You have a few years of experience under your belt, and now you're a legal adult. Do you feel that that has changed the way that you conduct your business?
I don't believe that being a legal adult has changed the way I conduct business. I honestly feel like I do a lot of things the same. I had to grow up a lot throughout this experience, and those last few months of being 17, I think, was prime growth for me as a person, and taking that into being 18 now. But I've always expected people to treat me differently because of my age in a business setting, but I've always made it very apparent that I'm here as a person regardless of anything else, and those conversations are definitely important for mutual respect. And I think that now being 18, I've tried to keep it the same and just being honest. And it's definitely weird being 18, but it doesn't feel any different in the way I conduct my life at all.
In the time that you've been a professional TikToker, TikTok as a platform has absolutely exploded.
Yeah.
Can you talk about like the relationship between your rise to fame for putting out content versus the TikTok algorithm?
Absolutely. I think not one person understands truly the TikTok algorithm. I think for me, I was growing as a content creator rapidly as the app was growing rapidly. I think being in a pandemic and having so many people on their phones scrolling mindlessly for hours, including myself, definitely helped. But overall, I think that that's something that I still don't understand.
Yeah, and TikTok has been a controversial platform. I mean, it's come under fire for surveying its US users and sending that data back to China, and then also for damaging effects of the TikTok algorithm. As someone who is, the biggest female star on the platform, how does that make you feel?
I think for me, I use the app like everyone else, just scrolling mindlessly, that I get to just make my videos and kind of just focus a little bit more on that. I think that that is something that's above anything that I can control or really have a say on, just because I don't know.
Right. And, social media there have been numerous things out there that say social media is bad for mental health. And, you certainly have a complicated relationship to that, because it's been negative for your mental health, but it's also built your career. Talk about that.
Yeah, I think I see all sides of this situation. I see what it's like to be a young person growing up, seeing the lives of these people doing incredible things, but I also see these people doing incredible things and being inspired, and seeing these incredible female entrepreneurs that build these amazing businesses and do such amazing things, and that inspires me. But I can also feel insecure at the same time. It's really dependent on how you take these things as a person. And I feel like having that self-control is the most important thing, because you can't control what other people post, but you can click not interested. And it's very difficult because there's no right way to do it. And I've been on both sides of it. And I know how difficult it can be, but I also know that there's not just one answer to it.
Yeah. Do you see a world in which you maybe stop posting altogether?
I think when I'm 80, I'm probably not going to make little lip syncing TikToks, but
I mean, that would be great content, but
who knows? I feel like social media is for everyone. I really hope that people still enjoy being able to express themselves and do things that are enjoyable to them, no matter any circumstances.
Right. And the creator economy is now, I think it's $104 billion industry. There are 50 million people out there who are professional creators. What advice would you give to people who are who look at you and want to have the career that you're having?
I think it's a lot of learning, talking to people. I think you can send out DMs to as many creators as you can and try and have that conversation, and kind of understanding the balance of being a person and creating content because you like creating content, not creating content because you want to be famous, you know? Mm-hmm. It's just all balance. And I think the more conversations you can have with people in your world, out of your world, people that maybe know nothing about what you do but have life experience that you can learn from, I just think those conversations are so important.
How do you feel about getting canceled?
I think each situation is so unique to its own person and itself, and I think that it's complicated, but there's really no way to be perfect all the time. And I've obviously grown up, had probably some of my most prime moments of growing up on the internet on display for everyone to see and comment on. So it's really just keep around you people that love you and are honest and will help you grow and tell you when you maybe need to take a step back and work on yourself.
Yeah. And a lot of your life and your business has been being surrounded by your family who have an enormous reach from all of their socials. I think your family might be the best marketers in America. What kind of feedback do you get from brands when you work with them?
For me, I've heard all different types of things. It's definitely different when a company gives you a campaign and you're a face in it versus when you get to work on something with a company or a brand. And for me, I like to be very involved, whether that's marketing meetings or campaign ideas or helping creative direct. There's so many different ways to do it, but I think each brand is so unique in its own way that they're all so different. But I enjoy definitely being a part of all of the steps or doing something that's very much my own.
So when you decide to work with a brand, do they give you direction? Walk me through the creative process a little bit more between, okay, we're going to do this partnership to here it is on Charli Social.
Sometimes I'll get an offer and it will be, we're doing this campaign and we would like you to be in it. But they don't want to hear any feedback, and that's when you really have to say, do I truly love this brand and do I really want to be a part of this even if I have no creative control? And then there's things like Born Dreamer that was start to finish questions along the way that I got to answer and come up with, and that for me is definitely the most fun. But Social Tourist, that's you're in these meetings feeling fabrics, picking color palettes from Pantone books, really from nothing to then the next collection out. So every time it's different, but I think that's why you really have to be a little involved in before you agree to anything, because if you are like me and you like to have a say in that, you want to make sure that that's discussed from the beginning.
Now you're working on a new huge project. In addition to the plethora of other things you're doing, you just raised $6 million at a $100 million valuation for your newest venture, D'Amelio Brands. Tell me a little bit more about that and what it is, how it's going to work, how you're going to fit into your schedule. I truly have no idea.
Yeah, for me, the schedule is something that is ever changing. Every day is different, but that's also the fun part. It's not too repetitive. For me, this is extremely exciting because there are so many brands that I love so much that maybe aren't where we as a family think that they can be, and I'm excited to be able to work more with my family. That's probably one of my favorite things to do. And get to be a part of these brands that, I mean, it's all going to be stuff that we all agree on and love and are excited to work with and on projects with. And it's more of that stuff that I love, those original conversations that help these brands and businesses grow into hopefully amazing, amazing and even better than we ever think it could be.
So what exactly is it?
Yeah, so for us, we are focusing a little bit on women-owned, independent brands that are things that we love, as well as our own brands and companies that we want to put out there with things that we love and morals and values that we believe in, and being able to have the funds to help them reach the next step or create from the ground up.
You also have some off-platform deals, so Snap and Hulu. What's it like, and you're obviously a pro at creating content for your own platforms. What's it like to be part of content for different platforms?
Oh my goodness. Well, when we talk about things like the Snapchat show, that was, I believe it was 4 days of the most exciting, fun times I've ever had shooting, just because it was me and my sister going head to head and doing something that we never usually do. We never compete against each other. And that was something so different than anything else that we do, but so much fun for the both of us. And that's why I think we were so excited to do the next version of this. We haven't shot it yet, but I hope that it will be equally, if not more fun, which I don't even think is possible. But when it comes to shows, when it comes to things like the Hulu show, that is very different. It's across quite a few months, and really getting into details of what this is like and all of the things that you don't see in the 15-second clips or the 10-slide photos on Instagram, and getting to really talk and share things that we're doing that people otherwise would not have the chance to see.
Mm-hmm. Everyone has watched you kind of struggle with the lack of privacy in your life, and people feel very entitled to know where you are, what you're doing, what you're wearing, who you're hanging out with. Do you feel like that in any way sort of like normalizes a lack of privacy for your fans?
Yeah, I think for me it was really taking that step back and removing myself a little bit during those prime times where everyone's eyes were on me, which probably in its own way held me back from probably what could have been more. But for me, I really needed to take that step back and take myself almost completely out of it for a little bit, to be able to do this for longer and not burn myself out and figure out what I want out and how to stop overthinking and overanalyzing myself, because then it just opens it up for everyone else to do the same to you. And when you're more okay with yourself and you have people around you that you know truly love you, no matter how many followers you have or no matter if you're out and someone comes up to you or if they don't. It's really those people and having those people online, those fans that if you take a 2-week break, they're still going to be there and support you because they care about you and they know that you care about them, even if you need to take time for yourself.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I have absolutely no idea where I want to be in 5 years or where I could see myself in 5 years, because the way I think about it is if you asked me 5 years ago, this would not be at all where I am. And I'm really so focused on now that I'm excited for what I'm doing at this moment that I can't even imagine what I'm going to be doing in 5 years. But as long as I'm happy and I have my friends and family around me, I think I'll be good.